Good afternoon students. Welcome you to 10th standard English class. In today's video, we are going to see the remaining part of Unit 7 Prose lesson, The Dying Detective, written by Arthur Conan Doyle. First, we'll recall the previous part of the story. The detective, Sherlock Holmes, is seriously ill. He asks to inform Watson, his close friend, about his illness. Watson is worried but gets dejected to see his friend very sick. He was not allowed to go near his friend. Instead, wait for 2 hours in his room after arranging the table near his bed with papers, half-opened ivory box and half-light gas lamp. He is sent to bring the planter, Mr. Smith, who was the only person who knew about the Black Formosa plague disease. Smith, who was reluctant at first on hearing Holmes' name, agreed to come. Now we'll see the remaining part of the story in today's video. Next paragraph from page number 190. Then I sat in silent dejection until the stipulated time has passed. Now Watson, he said, have you any change? Yes, I replied. How many half-crowns? Put them in your watch pocket and all the rest in your trouser pocket. You will light the gas lamp, but it must be half on. You will have the kindness to place some letters. Okay, we'll see the explanation now. Before that, we'll see the meaning for half-crowns. Half-crown means former British coin equal to 2 shillings. Now we'll see the explanation for this paragraph now. Then Holmes asked Watson to put some changes of half-crowns in his watch pocket and the remaining changes, that is money, in his trouser pocket. Then he requested Watson to light the gas lamp and lit it half on, then spread some letters and papers within Holmes' reach on the table. Some letters and paper on the table within my reach. Now place the ivory box on the table within my reach. Slide the lid a bit with tongs. Put the tongs on the table. Good. Now you can go and fetch Mr. Culverton Smith of 13 Lower Brook Street. I was hesitant to leave him now. He was delirious. I have never heard of the name, I said. Now we'll see the meaning for the hard words. Tongs. Tongs means a device used to pick up things. And the next word is delirious. That is disturbed state of mind. Now we'll see the explanation for this passage. Along with all these things, Holmes also asked Watson to place the half-opened ivory box with a slided lid and the tongs on the table too. Dr. Watson, though confused by this request, but did everything for Holmes without any issue. Well, he is the man who has the knowledge of this disease, but he is not a medical man. He is a planter. He lives in Sumatra, now visiting London. I didn't want you go before 6 because you wouldn't have found him in his study. I hope you will be able to persuade him to come. You will tell him exactly how you have left me. He said, you must tell him that I am dying. Plead with him, Watson. Now we'll see the explanation for this passage. And here in this passage, we can see the main task of Watson told by Holmes. Holmes then asked Watson to fetch Mr. Culverton Smith, a Sumatra planter, who knew about Holmes' illness better than any other doctor. I'll bring him in a cab, I said. No, you will persuade him to come and return before him. Make any excuse. Remember this, Watson. I saw Mrs. Hudson was waiting outside, trembling and crying. Below, as I waited for the cab, I met Inspector Morton of the Scotland Yard. He was not in his uniform. Now, we'll see the explanation for this. So, Watson need to persuade Smith to come to Holmes' house at any cost. Watson needs to return Holmes' house before Culverton Smith arrives. How is he? Asked Inspector Morton. He is very ill, I answered. I reached Mr. Culverton Smith's house. The butler appeared at the doorway. Through the half-open door, I heard a man's voice telling the butler, I am not at home, say so. I pushed past the butler and entered the room. I saw a frail man with bald head sitting. I am sorry, I said, but the matter cannot be delayed. Mr. Sherlock Holmes. Now we'll see the meaning for frail. Frail means very weak and delicate. Now we'll see the explanation for this paragraph. So in this paragraph we are going to see this Watson meeting with Culverton Smith. So on reaching Mr. Culverton Smith's house, Watson entered the room forcefully and met the said man, that is Smith. Watson saw a frail man with a bald head sitting in a chair. He was not ready to listen to Watson's reason for visit. The mere mention of his name had a different effect on the man. Have you come from Holmes? How is he asked. Next paragraph. He is very ill. That is why I have come. Mr. Holmes has a high opinion of you and thought you are the only man in London who can help him. The little man was startled. Why? He asked. Because of your knowledge of the Eastern disease, I replied. How did he get it? He asked. Now we'll see the meaning for startled. Startled means sudden shock. So here we are going to see the explanation part for this passage. But on hearing Holmes' name, Smith became more curious. He inquired Watson about Holmes' condition. Watson, with a great despair in his heart, explained the severity of his friend's condition. I told him everything. He smiled and agreed to come. Pretending that I had some other appointment, I left him. With a sinking heart, I reached Holmes' room. I told him that Mr. Smith was coming. Well done, Watson, he said. You have done everything that a good friend could do. Now you disappear to the next room and don't speak or come here. We'll see the explanation for this now. On hearing the pitiable physical status of Holmes, Smith agreed to visit to Holmes' home. Watson, pretending to have some other appointment, left Smith and reached Holmes' house. Holmes thanked Watson for being a good friend and advised him to hide in the next room. I heard the footsteps. I heard a voice say, Holmes, Holmes, can you hear me? Is that you, Mr. Smith? Holmes whispered. You know what is wrong with me? You are the only one in London who can cure me. Do you know the symptoms? Asked Smith. So here we'll see the explanation. Here we can see about Smith meeting Sherlock Holmes. So Smith came to see Holmes. He asked about Holmes' illness and its symptoms. Only too well, Mr. Smith, and he described the symptoms. They are the same, Holmes. Smith said. Poor Victor was a dead man on the fourth day, a strong and healthy young man. What a coincidence indeed. Here, Smith said those symptoms were the same as the dead man, Victor Savage, that is Smith's nephew. I know that you did it, said Holmes. Well, you can't prove it. Give me water, please. Holmes groaned. Here, I heard Smith's voice. Cure me, please. Well, about Victor Savage's death. You did it. I'll forget everything, but cure me. I'll forget about it. We'll see the explanation now. Here, Holmes blamed Smith as the murder of his own nephew, Victor Savage. Smith was confident that no one can arrest him for killing his nephew as there was no proof. You can never forget or remember, just as you like. It doesn't matter to me how my nephew died. Watson said you got it from the Chinese sailors. Could there be any other reason? I can't think. My mind is gone. Help me, pleaded Holmes. Did anything come by post? A box by chance on Wednesday. Yes, I opened it. Here we'll see the explanation. Since Smith thought Holmes was going to die, he openly accepted his evil action and decided to take the ivory box with him. And there was a sharp spring inside it. A joke, perhaps. It drew blood, said Holmes. No, it was not a joke, you fool. You have got it. Who asked you to cross my path? You knew too much about Victor's death. Your end is near, Holmes. I'll carry this box in my pocket. The last piece of evidence. We'll see the explanation. So the ivory box had a spring, sharp spring that drew blood and injected the disease. Smith, who got annoyed by Holmes' investigation, decided to kill him mysteriously just as he had killed his nephew Victor Savage. Turn up the gas, Smith, said Holmes in his natural voice. Yes, I will, so that I can see you better. There was silence. Then I heard Smith say, What is all this? Successful acting, said Holmes. For 3 days I didn't taste anything, neither food nor drink. We'll see the explanation. So here at the request of Holmes, Smith turns up the gas lamp and finds Holmes sitting up on the bed. Holmes accepted that he was acting like a sick man, and to make his act look better, he had not eaten anything for 3 days. There were footsteps outside. The door opened and I heard Inspector Morton's voice. I arrest you on charge of murder, he said. So here Inspector Morton arrived at that exact time to arrest Smith for the murder of Victor Savage. If so, let me bring Sir Jasper Meek or Penrose Fisher or Holmes. There was a sudden rush and scuffle, followed by the clash of iron and sudden cry of pain. There was a click of handcuffs. Holmes asked me to come in. Sorry, Watson, I was rude to you. I undermined your capability as a doctor. It was just to get Smith here, and I didn't want you to know that I was not ill. We'll see the meaning for scuffle. Scuffle means a sudden short fight. We'll see the explanation for this now. Holmes apologized to Watson for undermining Watson's capability as a doctor. He narrated the whole truth to Watson. In order to catch or arrest Smith with evidence of murder, Holmes, along with Inspector Morton, decided to act as a dying man. Though Watson, Holmes put the bait, that is, the trap, to catch Smith. In order to make Watson believe Holmes' illness, Holmes fasted for 3 days and used makeup to look like a dying man. But your appearance, I said. 3 days fasting and the makeup did the trick. The coins, oh, that was only to prove that I was delirious. He laughed. I need to eat now, Watson. Mr. Smith killed his nephew and he wanted to kill me the same way to avoid imprisonment. I need to eat now, Watson. I think that's something nutritious at Simpson. Now we'll see the explanation for this. So as he did not want Watson to realize the truth, Holmes did not allow Watson to come near him. He used the contagious disease as his excuse. Thus, the sadly grieving Watson assured Smith indirectly of Holmes' sickness. As nutritious at Simpson's would not be out of place. And thank you, Watson, he said. We'll see the conclusion now. Thus, the story, The Dying Detective, involves intelligence, drama, friendship along with villainous attitude to entertain the readers. The author has clearly made an impact on the reader through this protagonistic wit and cleverness. Wit means intelligence and cleverness. Students, hope you have understood the story. Go through the lesson once again and prepare well for the forthcoming quarterly examination. May God bless you. Thank you, students.